Let us now go ahead and modify our lighting parameters so that we can get better effect of what we have been doing. For that, go back to your scene, select the light. This is very important because the parameters required for light or the lamp, as it is called in Blender, will not be seen unless and until you select the object. So when the lamp is selected, you can see that on the panel on the right you have a button which is having a lamp illuminated with 4 corners shown, and if you click on that you will get the parameters of light. Now it tells you that this is a point light, and the next window is a preview window where it will show you how this particular light is behaving. So like I told you, it is that old time bulb which will be which is similar to what point lamp in Blender is. So you can see that the preview window shows exactly that kind of a illumination. So it is like a bulb in a room where there will be light in the center which is very strong, and then it is just diminishing towards the end. Okay. Immediately after that you have 5 options under the tab called lamp. Here if you wish you can change the type of light by clicking on point, sun, spot, hemi or area, that is up to you. But let us go ahead with point light right now because we have selected that. The very next tab is a color band which is right now white, because the light by default will have a color white. Click there and a color palette will open. Once you decide what color you want for that light, for example let us just select some color right now, maybe slightly yellowish color, and we click outside, the palette goes off and you see that the white band has now become yellow, which means that the color of the light has become yellow now, and in preview you can see the same thing. If you render now, you can see that the lighting has turned yellow now. Okay, let us get back to the scene. We can change the intensity of the light. That is done by the next tab called energy. Here an important tip for you all. In Blender, for any given tab which has the name and the number associated with each other, you can change it by 2 ways. The first way is left click and drag left or right. That will change the values automatically. So you do not have to type in, and the typing option is also available. So you left click on that word and then it will change to numerical entry option. You can type in whatever option you want to. Okay, so coming back to energy, energy can be given from 0 to 10, anything between the things. So 10 being the maximum, 0 being 0 where there is no energy at all. So if I press 0, you can see in preview that there is no light now because the energy has become 0. So at times there are lights added and energy was 0, so you cannot see anything. Okay, so let us now put in something like maybe 3 and it will have a good strong energy. If you render, you can also see that the energy has increased, and because the lamp is nearer to the camera, the intensity can be seen much high where it is nearer to the camera, and as it goes away from the camera the energy is reducing because type of light being point, it will reduce towards the end. If we had used something like hemi or a sun, then we would not have this problem because energy does not change for hemi or sun. Okay. After the energy we will come to distance. Distance is an important aspect because it will be able to provide us various options which we are looking for. It is exactly like placing the light at various distance in physical world to get different intensities. So you can actually vary the distance, like you can see there, you can have numerical inputs and this thing. What it means is the following: if you type in 50, it means that from the emitter 50 units would be the point till which the light will have 100% intensity as it is written in the energy option. So if you say energy 3 and distance 50, it means that till 50 units the energy will be 3. and after 50 units it will start reducing further. So, till that point it will not be diminishing at all, but again this will apply only to the point, spot or the area, not to sun and hemi, because they are flat lights, they will have same intensity everywhere. Let us get ahead and come to important part of shadows. Like the real life lights, like I have a light in front of me and a shadow is cast whenever I obstruct that with object. In Blender you have a choice, you can say that this particular light should not cast a shadow or this particular light should cast a shadow. Not only that, you can also decide what color should that shadow be. Now this is slightly interesting. So let us see, if we click on no shadow, the light will produce no shadows. So now if we render, we can see that there is no shadow to this monkey guy. By shadow I mean the cast shadow on the surface. You can see shadow on one side of the monkey, but that is within the object. The object itself is not casting shadow on another object. Now let us go back and change the option from no shadow to ray shadow. The moment we say ray shadow and now render it, you can see that the object will cast a shadow and it is a jet black shadow. Like I was telling you, you have an option to change the color of that shadow now. Let us go back and see how to do that, because that was pretty interesting when I saw it. So let me just try and ask Nitin to change the color of the shadow. If you put it on the top, you can see all the colors. Now he selects green and clicks outside, the color palette goes off, press F12, render it, and here you get it. So even within the object, whatever part which is coming in front of the light is casting a shadow on the object itself, and that shadow is also green now. So you can see that all shadows have become green. That is something very cool and you can use it to the maximum if you want to try it out. Let us not get into this kind of psychedelic type of image. So let us go back to the scene, and now we are almost done with the settings we are going to talk about or maybe require for the basic lighting purpose. What we are now going to see is setting up a 3-point light system so that we lit up the object really nicely. With the parameters which we have just discussed, I think it is quite possible for you to set up your own lighting systems, and that is what we want you to do. A standard method of lighting up any scene or a particular object of what is important to us in that scene is called a 3-point lighting system. And as I discussed earlier, and I will repeat, that you have seen this most of the time in photography or videography conditions, where they will have 3 light sources from 3 directions in order to get the best output. What are these 3 positions? Let us just try to analyze that. First and the most important is the key light. We call it as key light because that is the primary source of illumination. So it shines directly on the object of the importance and provides all the necessary illumination to get out the best features of that object. So that would be called as key light. Typically that is on the left side of the camera and maybe at the level of the camera or slightly above the camera. There is one more light on the right side of the camera which is called the fill light. This is not as strong as the key light, but it will be able to fill up the rest of the body of that object so that it is illuminated and seen by people. It will also allow to see the second side of the contour. So like for me, if this is the fill light, this is the key light, so it will show me both sides clearly for you. But there is third light here which is often used creatively by the lighting men, and that is called the backlight. Backlight is the light which helps you differentiate the object from the background. It also helps to create this contour or the light which falls here and create a contour so that you can differentiate it very well from the background. Backlight is typically placed slightly higher, so that it can just throw light from the top and get this contour also. However, all these things I am talking about a character or a human being being shot. There can be situations when the objects are being shot and different lights are used in various permutation combinations. What we want you guys to do is that for any object or 3D model in Blender, just place it on a plane and try this 3-point lighting. You are free to use any light if you want, but be sure that if you try Hemi or Sun, then none of the other lights will have any impact on that, because Sun or Hemi will just lit it up flat. There is no chance of the spotlight being able to show anything else. So barring these two lights, try other lights and see if you can create a scene with 3-point light. I suggest go by spotlights because that will give you the best option. Also try with the distances where the intensity will vary, try with color so that you can see how the shadows can be formed, and also the light source can be adding color to the scene, and keep posting your options whatever you have created by rendering a JPEG of that on the forums. We will just try to discuss about how are the lights being used by various people. Towards the end of the week we will also put in a 3-point light dot blend on the same place where we will have already had this lighting dot blend uploaded, so that you can download it and see it for yourself how it can be done in one more week. So looking forward to your submissions on the lighting part now, and let us end this part of session by the popular sentence, let there be light. Thank you very much.